另外一個景好暫時喺山頂望到下邊。就可以個景同呢個景嘅分別咯，即係咁嘅構成。
香港嘅夜景咧，睇完個嘅時候。
Ron, we want you to fly everybody to this place.
Yes, fly everybody.
Beautiful thing.
This press conference, I understand that some of you are rushing down from uptown because there are several press conferences today organized by different organizations. So it's really delighted to see all of you make your way down here. I think you noticed that the theme of the Gala dinner to be organized by the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office together with 16 community and business organizations is a tribute to Hong Kong, featuring yesterday's romance in Hong Kong to today's momentum. So before going further onto the theme, I would like to invite the Director of the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office, Mr. Bassanio, to do some explanation to us. Thank you.
First of all, thanks for coming to this press conference. The reasons that we came up with 16 organizations to organize this event is because we believe that the Hong Kong community has become a very, very strong community here in Canada, and in particular Ontario. And we would like to use this opportunity to recognize the importance of the Hong Kong community here in Canada, and also to recognize the development and also the career achievement of the Hong Kong Chinese community here. So this is one of the reasons that we pay tribute to Hong Kong, not to the Hong Kong itself, but also to the Hong Kong community in Canada as well. The other reason is, of course, that we would like to take the opportunity to link up the story, which is a love story back in the 1940s, to the present situation in Canada and Hong Kong. And we are talking about the past romance to the present momentum. When we talk about the two, people might ask, what is the linkage between the two events? I mean, this is a love story back in the 1940s, and now we are talking about Hong Kong and Canada in the year 2000. And actually, if you actually watch the story, read the novel, you will understand there are some linkages between two places from the story, which is Shanghai and Hong Kong back in the 1940s, when a lady who went to Hong Kong find a lover in Hong Kong, but this is a love game, and they have never really agreed to marry until the time that Hong Kong fell when the Japanese took over Hong Kong. And that event actually motivated the two to get married. Now, how does it relate to Hong Kong and Canada? We are facing a very similar story back in the 1980s and 1990s when a lot of Hong Kong people actually immigrated to Canada. And at the end of the day, all those Hong Kong people who have come to Canada, you have established yourself pretty well in Canada, and you have been contributing to the society. So this is also a story between Hong Kong and Canada, or a story between Hong Kong and Toronto, a story between Hong Kong and Ontario. So we are linking the two, from the story, the romance itself, to the present. We recognize the importance of the Chinese community here in Canada. And we do hope that we can use this story to project from the past into the present, and talk about how the Hong Kong community has been able to integrate into the society in Canada, and also contribute, not just integrate, but also contribute to the development of the Canadian society. So this event is actually a story of ourselves, not a story of that two lovers, the man and the lady and the gentleman, but also a story of ourselves. And we are really very proud to have the support of 16 organizations. Now, I'll leave it to Rita to recognize them individually, but I would also like to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about what we want to do during this event. We want to develop a short presentation within this event to project Hong Kong and Canada, and in particular to project the Hong Kong community here in Canada. So it will be starting from 1940 when the event, when the love story started. and then progressing through the development of Hong Kong, and also how Hong Kong people first arrived in Canada here, and how you have to establish yourself. And we would like to ask each contributing organization to give us one of their most successful project, community development project, so that will be put on the show as well. Because we've got 16 organizations, so we can't afford to get 2 or 3 photos from each of them. We can only allow 1 from each of them, but I am sure that they have more to show, but from the limited time constraint, we can only allow 1 from each. So that will be a tribute to the contribution of the Hong Kong community here in Canada. And the other is, of course, we would like to bring out the linkage through this presentation, the linkage between Canada and Hong Kong, how the Hong Kong community have been able to help Canadians. In particular, present-day situation when the Canadian people, when Canadian company all want to develop their business in China, how the Hong Kong community would be able to help as well. So this is one of the presentation that we will try to do. The other is, of course, that taking the opportunity of the arrival of the Hong Kong Repertory Theatre, which will be performing 4 performances, and the proceeds will go to the Yi Hong Foundation. We would like to have those actors and actresses to interact with the audience at the event, so that you are thinking of yourself as participating in the theatre itself. That is a really difficult task, to integrate the audience and the actor and actress, but we will try our best to produce some programs within the ball, so that people participating will think that they are actually participating in the theatre, not just another ball. So we hope we can bring joy to the participants. That event will be held in Hilton Street on the 26th of April. Hilton Street, even though we have already booked the ballroom, but the space itself can only allow us for 50 to 60 tables. So up to the moment, we understand that we have already sold out quite at least 2/3, more than 2/3 of the table. So we are pretty good in our table sales. But of course, we like to have a full house, and we like to get the involvement of everybody. So I hope the 2 co-chair, Ross and Rita, will be able to help us in making this event the most successful event ever happened in Toronto. Without ado, I would like to introduce 2 chair, Rita and Ross.